oh, he sounds like beta male.
But that's the whole point. That's the point. The point is that we're making... I don't think I look that ugly.
Apparently we're both 4s.
Hurt people. Hurt people.
Hurt people hurt people.
We live in America. We're allowed to say whatever we want.
Oh boy. This week, we're going to be telling you the truth about being an interracial couple and sharing some of the challenges that we've faced. With this, we are also going to be sharing some of the most viral hate comments that we've received on our videos, so get ready for that. You may need to sit down for this one. Let's get into it, Half Past Crew.
Welcome to
Half Past Cha.
Welcome to another episode, everybody. We're so excited. My name is Saketu.
My name is Hallie.
And we're an interracial couple. If you can't already tell, I'm super Indian.
I'm super white.
And we release new podcast episodes every Monday at 7 a.m. So if you're new, make sure you subscribe. Like this video if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you give us 5 stars and follow the podcast. Helps the algorithm a ton. Make sure you stick around till the end because we do have questions from you because you go to www.halfpastcha.com and submit your questions and stories. All right, everybody, get cozy, grab your cha as we get into it.
I just want everybody to take a second and look at my henna. I don't know if you can you tell? Can you see it? I don't know what you can see. I can't really tell what we're looking at right here. But I got some henna done and it's gorgeous. And I wanted to talk about this because 1, it's beautiful. 2, I haven't had it done since our wedding.
Isn't that crazy? When Hallie first got it done, she said it didn't smell good. But this time around, it smells great. I think it was just like in the moment, she was like all stressed out. It was right after the American wedding. And then it was like late at night getting it done. And she was nauseous, I guess, because we didn't eat any food. Because during your wedding, you never eat your own food.
Yeah, it smelled different. I don't know why. This time around, it smelled like a spa. Like I got it done at work because we had the henna artist come in and do it. Your communication lead for a very big group on campus came in, had somebody do henna, and my coworkers were like, oh my gosh, you smell so good. What happened? I'm like, well, I got henna. I mean, it smells good. It smells really good. And then everyone was like, oh my God, it smells like a spa over here. Can I stay and work over here? And I was like, sure. This week, you guys, we're going to tell you the truth. Might be a hard truth to hear. It's certainly hard for us to wrap our heads around.
The fact that we're an interracial couple, oh my God, I can't believe it. Do you know
what? We are?
I didn't even realize that we were an interracial couple until probably after college. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Do you know why, Hallie?
Why?
It's because like I don't know, I just didn't realize the fact that you're white.
I didn't realize you were Indian.
It was crazy. But anyways.
How did you come about that realization?
I think it was just, I looked at you one day and then you were like, hey, we should start a podcast. And I was like, about what? And
After we were already married, sure.
And then I was like, about what? And you were like, the fact that we're an interracial couple. I'm like, what? What? And then it was shocking to me.
See, it's an interesting point that you say that because I don't actively, other than this podcast, I don't actively think about that, right? Yeah. Because people make it into such a big deal when it's not a big deal.
Yeah, people have their own opinions about it as well, which I don't think it's a big deal. You know, being an interracial couple is the same thing as being a normal couple. And that's why we make so many episodes about just relationships rather than... Like, I know we always start off saying, oh, we talk about being an interracial couple. We're just talking about being in a relationship. Mm-hmm. There are definitely nuances to being an interracial couple. Like, you know, some family things. Sometimes it's a religious thing. Sometimes it could be the differences. But everybody has differences, right? And so ours is just common differences in the interracial community.
Yeah, so let's just take a little trip back in time, shall we?
Yes.
Think about when we first got together, right? Back then, I would say it was a bigger deal because I didn't know of many people who were in a relationship situation like ours. Did you?
No, I don't think so. I never even, I always wanted to be in a relationship, but I never considered like, oh, being in a relationship with a white person is going to be different than being in a relationship with an Indian person. Because if you're with an Indian person, it's like all the same stuff, right? But the white person is different. It's different.
Yeah, it is different. I mean, just from a cultural standpoint,
Yeah.
yes, things are different. And it's hard to find people when you're in a situation like that. It's hard to find people that understand that situation. For example, when we were in high school and college for the most part, but things got a little bit better in college, I would take any time with you I got. If I got to see you for 30 minutes, I would ditch everybody for that time. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I actually get to see him for 30 minutes today. Let's do that. I'm going to do that. And I see now that things were so different back then. And certain people may have not known that we were in a relationship together. And, you know, that's what you thought you had to do. And that's kind of how we dealt with it back then. So a lot of people did not understand that, which understandably so. If I had a friend that was like, oh, I got to ditch you guys because I'm going to hang out with my boyfriend for 5 seconds, I'd be like, what?
For
What do you
5
mean?
seconds.
Well, I mean, that's dramatic, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. It's different. Like when it comes to like high school, I don't know any Indian, American, Asian person who's like not hid the relationship from their family. Like I can't think of anybody who's like, "Oh, I'm in a relationship," and like going to their Indian parents and saying that out loud. I just can't fathom that. I was freaking out. So like, you know, that didn't happen. So because of that, whereas you would be able to go to your parents and like know what's happening, so you could say, "Hey, I'm hanging out with this person." I couldn't do that. I couldn't just be like, "Hey, I'm hanging out with this person." They'd be like, "What? What are you talking about? Who are they? What time are you coming home?" Actually, they would call me like 24 times.
So hence I took any 30 minutes I could get.
Yeah. So that is different.
Yeah. So it's interesting too, because again, like we said at the very beginning of this episode, like it's not something that we actively think about. Like I don't think different, like not that I've ever thought this, but I don't think differently of you because you're from a different culture. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's not a big deal, but there are some people with a mindset out there. And I would say it's a generational thing.
Definitely can be generational. I feel like the middle generation's the normal one, which is the one we're in. And then the ones that are super young and the ones that are super old are like freaking weird.
Okay, what are we considered? We're not millennial.
I'm technically a millennial.
Really?
You're Gen Z, right?
What's the one beneath me? Gen X or Gen Y? Wait, what?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know, but are you technically considered millennial?
Yeah, because it was like 1986 to 1997, which
You fall under.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that does make sense. So yeah, I guess an interesting point to make is that even though we don't actively think about us being an interracial couple, we just think of us being average, everyday, normal couple, just like anybody else.
Yeah.
Some people out there in the world don't necessarily feel this way. Hence the hate. Hence the mean DMs. Hence the weird looks and the stares and all the things. And it's come from both sides. We've got Indian people that may or may not be super happy. We've got a lot of white people that are also not happy.
Yeah, the hate comments don't like to discriminate. Everybody is able to hate. You know, that's not a problem. You know, there's very much so a lot of hate out there for
from
sure.
Everybody. So what gives?
I don't know. I think it's just people don't like when something is different. There's a lot of people who find that either uncomfortable or it's just not in their normal day-to-day life, and so they're like, I don't agree with this, so I'm gonna speak my mind, which is fine. We live in America. We're allowed to say whatever we want, and that's why these hate comments are all out there.
It's just so I mean, I did make a comment earlier about it being generational, but honestly, with some of these comments that I'm going to read here in a bit, they're from people our age that for whatever reason are just filled with so much hate in their bodies.
It's all behind a screen. I can see you. You might be behind a screen, but I'm going to come find you.
Well, everybody that watches this podcast does not feel that way about us. We have a really great community here. It's more so the people that just happen to stumble across our stuff.
Reels.
Our reels, especially TikTok. People are probably meaner on TikTok. I'm not going to lie.
If we make a comedic sketch, it's meant to be comedic. And so some people take those comedic sketches super seriously, like we're trying to make fun of a group of people or whatever it may be, which is, you know, you can interpret it that way. That's okay.
It's
but,
sad if you do because it's a joke.
But it's just like, you know, you're taking us a bit seriously. They'd be so fun to hang around, you know, like what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know, it's like these people in real life that leave such negative, hateful comments. You must be a joy, really. You must be so amazing. Oh my God. But it's just, yeah. I mean, it's so interesting. Like I said, it's all different kinds of people, all different kinds of comments. I mean, we see the same ones, I would say, over and over. Like, you married me for a green card, or I married you for the money, or like some more like really nasty ones, which I'll get into. But it's just so like, and I get it. You know, we put our life out there, right? People can have their own opinion, but I dare you, say it to my face. You won't. You want me to give you my address? It's beep.
That's what happens in Iron Man. If you don't know, it's a good reference to it.
Yeah.
Where he gives away his address
And they actually do
like,
come, yeah.
kill him.
Well, they don't.
Try to.
Yeah, they try to. But yeah, and again, we'll dive more into that later with the comments, but like I said, comes from both sides. And I want to talk about for a second also in public or like in person, people haven't really said things to us, but we get looks. All right. Again, comes from both sides and it's mega confusing. Like, what gives? What is your problem with us?
No, I think it's just like people, it's okay to like just look, but like it's like
look, but there's the face that is made.
I get it sometimes, but at the same time, like, come on. Why do you got to give us that look?
Why do you got to make us like feel weird?
We were in the subway, and these two women are just staring at us, and like I'll stare back at them, and I'll like make direct eye contact, and they don't break eye contact. I'm just like, do you not feel any shame? Like, because if I'm just in like public and I make eye contact with somebody, I'll look away really quick because it's just uncomfortable, you know? Like, why? I don't want them to see that I'm looking at them or whatever. But this person was just like straight up, like just staring and like would not break eye contact. So they were just looking at us and they made like this face. I'm like, what the heck?
No, they were in there. They were like our age.
Yeah.
And they were looking at me, whispering to each other and laughing.
Yeah.
Looking at us together. What?
Well, we can't, we don't know for sure, but I mean, it was like, we kind of know.
Look, if somebody's doing this, I'm not pointing, but looking right at somebody as they're laughing and talking to their friend or sister or whoever they were. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. Like, okay.
Yeah.
How upset, like, I hate negativity. I hate talking bad about people. I hate when people choose to spread negativity instead of being kind, because we're all in this together. We're all just trying to survive every single day. So why do you need to go out of your way to make somebody else feel bad about themselves?
Hurt people.
And that actually kind of goes perfectly with something. I posted that on my story almost a week ago. A very hateful comment from a very angry individual. One comment that I want to make before we move on to our hate comments. I get a lot of questions, okay? Mm-hmm. When I say my last name is Patel, people are very confused.
Yeah.
And, you know, I get it. Usually if they see just the name, they don't see me. They don't think anything of it, but they see me very fair-skinned.
Yep.
Just people are really confused. And this leads me to a comment that was made to me not that long ago.
Okay.
And this individual comes up to me. My name was written down on a sheet. And this person sees my name, Hallie Patel, and they go, huh, I assume you married into that name. Not to be culturally insensitive, but you married into that name, right? That was...
Duh. Come on now.
I mean, is that not like a weird thing to say?
Maybe it's not, but...
I'm sure they meant well, but like, there are just maybe some things that you don't always need to say. Like I just was like, yeah, I did. My husband's from India. You know, that's my common answer. Yep, my husband's from India. Yep. I'm Patel. My husband's Patel. Blah blah blah. Yeah, people ask all the time, especially when you give your, like if I'm ordering coffee and they'll be like, oh, what's your last name? Nobody can ever spell my first name right ever. Like it never goes right. So what's a name? What they always say, what's a name? And I'm like, Patel. And they're like, they don't say that.
That's funny.
But they look up and they're almost like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So that happens a lot.
Yeah, it does. But it's, you know, at least you get to say, my husband's Indian. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like about that?
I don't know. It just like confuses them. They're like, I wonder if he's still in India. Yeah.
And then I'll say, yep, he wants to marry me for the green card.
Exactly.
And I say, yeah, he has a lot of money.
Like
and so it's
imagine
a whole
the different
thing.
thoughts that they're having. Like, why is she marrying an Indian man? I wonder what the reason was. All these things.
Well, people, you know, start to
Yeah.
they start to paint a picture in their heads.
Yes,
when
they
you say
do.
something like that. Like, oh, I don't know. People just think all kinds of things. And I would say 99% of the time, most people let their intrusive thoughts win, which leads me to the comments section of our reels, our TikToks. I'm going to read these to
Okay.
you and I don't want you to see them.
I'm so excited.
So guys, okay, we've had a lot of viral content, which we're so thankful for because it's brought a lot of traction to our pages, mainly to, I would say, Reels and then TikTok and then YouTube Shorts, right?
Yep.
We're lucky. We have a wonderful community, like I said, of all you people watching. You're fantastic. And you always leave really great comments on on the actual podcast. So we love that. Please keep doing that. You guys are fantastic.
And please keep sharing, because if you like this podcast, you can share it with your friends and family and be like, hey, look at these two talking about stuff. And then
they're an interracial couple, but they actually talk about relationships.
Exactly. So then you can share it. But I've seen a lot of, like, if you look at the little like share button on TikTok or Instagram, we can see how many people are sharing. And because of that, our videos go more viral. And so the more you guys share, the more this podcast goes out there. And we really appreciate that.
Yeah. So again, we're thankful for the comments. Because
all of them, even the bad ones, because we can make videos like this.
And and I want to say also as well, the comments used to bother me. Like maybe like 2 years ago, we were live on TikTok and someone was commenting about my face. And then they were like talking about my teeth, which I love my teeth. It's taken me a really long time, but I am comfortable in my body, and maybe I wasn't back then. I don't know, but they just were attacking me, and it made me really, really, really upset. And so it was from that point on, because I used to like kind of not obsess.
Well,
I used to think a lot about the comments that people left, but then I realized that they have their own issues and it has nothing to do with me.
Well, it also just takes time to get used to it. I got my first hate comment in 2014, so 10 years ago. And that really was like, it was hurtful for me because I knew who this person was, and they were like, oh, like this video sucks, or, you know, I used to make a lot of videos back then, and they're like, this video sucks, and like said a bunch of stuff about it. And it really affected me. But because I've gotten so many in the last 10 years of like hate comments and things that could bring me down, I've gotten really used to it. And then I started to embrace the hate comments, be like, hey, hate still, like that's still another view, right? And so I think hate comments do suck for a lot of people, but the sooner you can get used to them, the faster you will start to grow personally and grow your specific channel.
Well, yeah, and I want to second that. Growing personally, it really thickens your skin. And I have a lot of people that come up to me that are like, especially when I posted what I posted on my Instagram story like a week ago, and I said, hurt people, to a really negative and disgusting comment from a very lonely, mean, negative individual. People are like, oh my gosh, like, don't think about it. Don't take it personally. And they don't know what they're talking about. I'm like, yeah, no, I know. Believe me, I know that, but it doesn't bother me really. And honestly, it's laughable. Like, I send you comments because we've learned also not to respond to comments because people, I mean, it just, gives that other person a thrill, and I don't care enough to give them that satisfaction because, again, I don't care. Like, I really don't. And it's helped me in general to learn to not care about what other people think of me, which has honestly been a good thing. So getting into the game of content creation and posting and doing all those things, you're opening your life up for people to hate on you. And that's just the facts.
Facts. Yeah.
But again, thankful that I've been able to overcome that because I don't care anymore. And we love, that's actually something we've done quite a few times before. We just have our friends over and like I've pulled up my Instagram DMs or whatever, like TikTok messages or comments or whatever, and we read them in front of our friends and they think it's crazy. And they're like, because we get bad comments, we get great comments. So it's just always fun going through them. But regardless, the message here is that this is all in good fun. We post things because we love to post. And people just love to hate on us. And so
that's okay. What's the first comment, Hallie?
Oh my God. We've had a lot of things go viral, specifically on Instagram. This was a video that you posted a year ago on your personal TikTok. Mm-hmm. And we thought, it did so well on there. People, I think, it was received semi-well.
Yeah.
Let's post it on Instagram. Why not? Posted it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the reel of when we were in India and we were just hanging out and there was a group of people that wanted to come take a picture with me. I assume, you don't see, it's not super common to see a white person in probably that area that we were in. It's not a big city. It was relatively smaller area.
You're killing me. I want to hear the comment.
I know. I'm trying to give a little context for people who don't know what I'm talking about. I made the mistake of saying, just as, again, all these are a joke. People don't understand that because they don't have a sense of humor. I made the mistake of commenting, I want to feel this special again. Mm-hmm. The comment that I posted on my story, you're not special. It's just the obsession with your white skin. You're a solid 4, but some Indians will call you a 10 because you're white, hence your husband. Then this is when you get brought into it. If your husband was more attractive, there would be girls being upset that he ended up with you. But I saw pics of your husband, and I'm pretty confident that most brown women didn't pay him attention anyways. So it works out.
Damn. I just got to say, that's hurtful. I don't think I look that ugly.
Apparently we're both 4s.
And so I love this comment. Thanks for making it, person out there who's probably never going to watch this. But I love it. It's great.
After I shared it on my story, people went after her in the comments. But it's sad because people were either really with her or people were really against her.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. And then it was kind of annoying, it was annoying because I'm the one that commented that. So anytime someone would comment under my comment, it showed up in my personal inbox. And I'm like, oh, can this just be over with? Like, people are so insane. Yeah. But I guess we're both 4s. So high five to that.
4 + 4 is 8.
So we're almost at a 10.
Almost a 10.
Gosh. And then this is going to go with the general trend of the rest of them that were commented. And this one's crazy. It's sad that their minds are still colonized. This has 11,500 likes.
I cannot believe that many people like the comment. It goes to show how many people are really out there in the world hiding behind a screen, liking these comments, thinking that, oh, these people probably won't care.
Oh, I'm making a difference.
But we see this, it makes it even though we say like it doesn't affect us, the fact that we see it can, right? And it always does something. Every creator, every single person, even like the big people out there who are very famous, like movie stars, whoever it may be, whenever criticism comes out around them, they get affected. Kevin Hart, for example, he's been in the news recently. And so he makes a lot of movies. And apparently, like, he gets a lot of hate for like, hey, stop making crappy movies.
I like his movies.
But I like them too. But, that can get to somebody, so.
But again, you and I have the mindset now that
Yeah.
people are going to say whatever they want.
Exactly.
And again, we open our lives
That's
up
okay.
to it. It's fair game. Honestly,
Exactly.
I would probably I wouldn't make fun of us because I'm not that kind of person, but it's just crazy again that 11,000
It's a lot.
almost 12,000 people like that.
Yeah, we don't have that mentality, everybody. Just to clarify.
So many people have said that about you.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I look like one. But
Again, people love to see, oh, she's white and he's Indian. Let's make something out of that.
yeah. Okay.
Next this is all. So what I'm doing is reading all the comments under these viral posts. Next comment, I will never understand why Indians think white people are so special.
Well, look. When you come to America, when you see America, there's all kinds of people here. When you go to India, guess what? There's only Indian people. Okay? And you might be like, oh, no, that's not true. Well, I would say 99.9% Indian people, brown people, okay? Just everywhere. Same with China. Same with all these other countries that exist in the world, right? So when a foreigner comes into the country, they're like, oh my gosh, this is cool, this is interesting. So they admire that, right? And so it's not like that in America because there's so many different people here. Every single person from the entire world, like every kind of person, lives in America. There's at least one of that version of them out here in America. And so it's not as fascinating. But like when you go to a different country, those people who are there, who find us as foreigners, are very interested. So that's all I have to say to that comment.
So as you're speaking, I was looking at the demographics. In India, it's 72% Indo-Aryan, 25% Dravidian.
Yeah, that's Indian. So.
Okay, so keep in mind that percentage, 72 plus 25, and 3% other.
Yes.
So
Okay.
think about that 3%.
3% of 1.4 billion. So it's still a lot, but you don't just see those 3% everywhere.
What can somebody wait? What's the math? What's 3% of one?
I have no idea. I can't do math like that in my head.
I gotta look it up. 3% of 1 point. Is it 2 or 1 point? 1.4 billion. That's about. Wait, 1, 2, 3.
That's a 4.2 million.
That's 42 million.
Yeah.
42 million. It look 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 42 million.
42 million?
I mean, that's actually like a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Would you say that's mainly in like city, maybe in bigger city areas?
Yeah, but 42 million, holy.
That's what it says.
I cannot fathom how many people live in India. That's so wild because there's only like 350 million in the United States.
How big? I mean, like
for how big
size
the United
comparison,
States is?
Yeah, like how big is India as a whole?
Like we're not even close to 1 billion.
Yeah,
that's so crazy to me that there's that many people in India.
So, but still, I guess there are 42 million other.
Besides the point, move on.
Last comment on this video. I didn't expect you guys to make stereotypical videos. There are already hundreds of videos when people don't go to good areas in India. Don't start making such videos too, LOL. Okay, right. The LOL didn't add anything. You didn't even need to put that.
We're not being stereotypical. This is a video that I literally took of my wife taking pictures with people who wanted her to take pictures. What about that is stereotypical? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. I'm literally just taking video of what's happening. Like, I'm not trying to make it happen. It's just happening. And so I was like, taking a video, and then I pressed post. There's nothing, I don't know. I understand being stereotypical, and that could, like, lead to negative comments. That makes sense. But sometimes it's for a comedic purpose, okay? And I'm not saying that I make stereotypical videos because I don't think we do. I think we make very realistic kind of videos that actually things we experience. And there are so many others who experience the same thing as us, and we want to be relatable for you guys.
Well, again, yeah, it's all in good fun, and people just don't understand that for some reason. And we weren't trying to be offensive. We weren't trying to be stereotypical.
Yeah.
we love
Okay, we don't
India.
need to justify anything.
No, we don't. You guys here get it. There are dumb people out there. But it's at least we know, what we're doing.
Yep.
And it's sad because we were just talking about this yesterday, but there are people out there that make videos negatively portraying India, which is sad because that's probably what people think we're doing, who don't get it, who just don't have a sense of humor in life.
Yeah.
And it's sad because those are the kinds of videos, some of them go really viral and people then have a poor image of places in India. Like there have been people that I've like told that I'm going to India and they're like, oh, hello.
Excuse me.
Excuse you. India is beautiful. You've never been, so you cannot say a word about it. So that frustrates me, but I think that I'm trying to get into the mindset of people who leave such negative comments and are dumb and don't get things in life. And that's kind of where I think they're coming from, but still doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, the next viral reel, which we just posted not that long ago, is another TikTok of yours that I posted. It's of you looking at a wedding photo of me. I came upstairs and he was looking at a photo of me cheering him on as he was dancing.
Yep.
And these are some fun ones. Inferiority complex is still strong there.
I don't know what that means.
As in,
I don't know what that means. Inferiority?
yeah. Like, I'm better than you. Like, you're not, like, we're not on the same level.
Oh.
Like, you're praising me. People, like, think because you're looking at a photo of me that I think I'm better than you.
Oh, gotcha. No,
Yeah.
I don't. That doesn't make zero sense.
No, but
whatsoever.
again, that one had a lot of likes, which makes absolutely no sense to me. She is definitely going to cheat on him.
That might be true.
What?
I'm just kidding. No, we get these a lot. So if we get so many, oh, they're totally gonna get divorced. Oh, she's totally gonna leave him. It's always Hallie that leaves me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because she's white, and there's a statistic out there that white women love to divorce, which I honestly think that can be its own story, own video on its own. But very, what's it called? Correlation versus causation type thing. Like there's no correlation to this whatsoever. And so I don't know why that comment was made. But
I would say we get at least one of those per video.
yeah, one of those for sure.
And it's only when I look good. Like if I look ugly, then people don't say it. But if I look good, then people say it.
People also say that because they're like, oh, you're way out of my league, which is true. But
That is not true.
But
That is not true. We're in the same league. If anything, you're out of my league.
I don't know about that.
Next comment. Again, this goes with looks. She is so much better looking than him. I don't get it.
See, I told you. These are the kinds of comments.
But again, it depends on the video. It's like that one, because that one was about looks and you looking at I looked great in the photo. I'm not even gonna lie. I looked beautiful because it was one of our wedding days. Looked really good in the photo.
Yes.
And people are commenting about looks, just like the one prior to that. People were commenting about colonization and things like that. Yep. So last one, because you spoke in the video, he sounds like a beta male. How do you think he acts around alpha males?
That's such a weird comment. Like this person has to like be in their basement for their whole life. Like
imagine thinking that, like, oh, he sounds like beta male. How does he act around alpha males? What?
Who thinks like that? I would genuinely love to meet this person just to understand what they had to deal with growing up.
Most of these people don't even have an image of themselves associated with their profile.
That's the thing is we've never gotten actually we've gotten one or two comments from people with like a larger following, not like crazy, but like a larger following that were negative comments. But I would say 99% of the comments that we get are people who have 0 to 10 followers. And so
they
like
follow
these are
like thousands of people.
I'm guessing that this is just what they do. Like they'll just go around commenting really negative things to gain like a reaction, and that's like that makes them happy.
I love just sharing the negative ones though, because it's honestly laughable. And it always comes from these troll accounts where they follow so many people, or maybe they don't follow so many people or whatever it may be, but Yeah, it's just always interesting seeing the kind of people that actually comment if they have an image or if it's just like user 567 12345 whatever. All right. That was that reel. The next reel, maybe the most controversial of all. This was a, again, funny, comedic little thing that we threw together as we were going shopping in Patel Brothers.
Tell brothers. Okay.
I feel like it was better received on TikTok than it was on Instagram.
Yeah, it
Because
did.
for whatever reason, it went nutty on Instagram.
Did very well on TikTok.
Yes, it did. And so this comment, or these comments, I should say, kind of go along with the first reel that we talked about. So, first comment. Typical white women thinking the world revolves around her. 1.5 billion of Indians are in India and around 1 billion scattered in other parts of the world, and you are generalizing all of them. Good.
Good. Yes. Very good. No, I get it. This one makes sense. Like, I understand where they're coming from in terms of oh, you're just making fun of blah, 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 blah. But that's the whole point. That's the point. The point is that we're making fun of what happens, of what we experience, not saying anything bad about it.
It's just a joke. It really is.
It was a good one. It was funny though.
And
I
it
liked
was
that
just
video.
funny. It wasn't like we weren't like recording other people. I was just walking around the store and you were following me, and it was just a
hilarious.
joke. And we put really funny sound effects with it. We were laughing as we were
actually
making
had
it.
somebody recreate it as well.
Yes.
And we love that.
Yes, another interracial couple out there actually recreated it, and it's just all in good fun. We weren't trying to generalize anybody. Again, it was just a comedic, I mean, it was very dramatized, comedic little skit of something that we've experienced before. And it's funny. All right. People need to learn how to take a joke these days. All right.
Yeah.
Just stop being so pressed and getting your panties in a twist, because it's not worth it. I mean, imagine getting offended by every little thing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine. I love when people make jokes to me about skin color or whatever it may be. I think it's hilarious, but again, that's my mindset. I grew up being funny and not taking things too seriously and keeping things light. But
Yeah. If anybody's seen the Tom Brady roast or whatever,
roast me. I want to be roasted.
yeah, we get roasted on a daily basis. But I think sometimes it's very hard to see a joke and laugh at it because you don't want to be mean or offensive or whatever it might be, but at the same time that's what jokes are, right? They're meant to be sometimes they can go a little too far and those are not okay, right. But I think that it's okay to joke around. I think that's what makes life so fun and funny, and laughing is a good thing, so just remember that.
And if we didn't have jokes and laughter in this world, where would we be? I mean, seriously, there's so much negativity already in the world. We need to have fun.
We would be a Karen in that case.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a lot of those out there.
There are, yes. Yes, absolutely. Next comment. White-skinned women obsessing over their bodies and skin color. Typical white-skinned women behavior and mentality. Laughing face.
That's generalizing. That's very rude of you to say.
Yeah.
Huh?
How is that comment any better than what we did? Or, that comment in itself actually is terrible.
Yeah,
we were
it's
not
pretty bad.
saying anything about skin color. We were not being mean to people. We were just, it's all in good fun. People are crazy.
It's a good comment. It's funny. I like it.
It is. Ruined her bloodline.
Ooh.
Get
Yeah,
that one
Hallie.
a lot.
Yeah, Hallie, what the heck?
I get that one a lot.
What's wrong with you?
So much,
My
apparently.
goodness.
Isn't that crazy?
Should have been with a white person.
So many people see, again, we don't think of us being an interracial couple aside from this podcast and aside from some of the content we post, but because we think of us as a normal couple, just like anybody else out there. Why do people feel the need to say this to me?
I think it's just because you're a little different, Hallie.
Because I'm cultured and I accept other people in this world. Sorry that there are other people out there that are too close-minded and don't care to accept anybody else who's different from them.
Yeah.
It that frustrates me. Just the mindset that people have. I did not ruin my bloodline. We're going to have the most beautiful children. Okay, have you seen mixed babies? They're gorgeous.
They are.
Last one. Sorry, but no one has time to stare at you. You need to stop degrading your husband's culture this way.
Yeah, Hallie, what the heck?
Pretty sure it was your idea to make the video.
Yeah, it was my idea. I love since I was a little kid, I was making skits, okay? And I enjoy it more than anything. Nobody ever can stop me from making them. So.
Yes, I mean, it's all in good fun. We have the best time making content. Again, we make this to be relatable to people because there are so many other couples and interracial couples. We try and make relationship content and interracial couple content. We try to do all the things because we want to be relatable to people and get to know them on a deeper level.
Yep. That's all the comments that we have to share with you.
I mean, we have so many more, but that's all we have time for today.
You can go check out any of our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Shorts, and check out some of those comments if you want to, just have some entertainment.
You'll have a field day.
It's fun. It's great. The only other thing that I really wanted to mention before we go into questions of the week is the fact that these comments are something that we get a lot of, but we also get a lot of DMs and we also get a lot of support from you guys, and we really, really appreciate it because like we said, negative comments, we try and ignore them, but sometimes they can get to us. But the positive ones are the things that keep us going, and it means a lot.
They do mean so much. And I do love to look through, I mean, especially I would say we get the most positivity through DMs.
Yeah.
Like especially after I posted that very negative one, hurt people. Quite a few people reached out to me, but someone who I didn't follow reached out to me, and I checked my DMs, and he had such a kind yet wise message. And, it just makes you forget about anything negative that people say, because truly people out there who have negative things to say only have problems within themselves. I'm not doing anything to cause this. We don't deserve the hate. We're trying to be as relatable and kind and spread love. We're trying to do as much of that as we can. So we appreciate all the love that we get from you guys because we do get so much of it, and it's amazing.
And if you've made it this far, that means you should go comment on this video. If you run into any of our reels or TikToks, comment. We love to know who's watching. We love to interact. And if it's a positive one, we would very much so appreciate it.
Ooh, and I have a challenge for you. Please, on this video, comment one of your favorite reels that we've posted or TikToks or whatever, if they've gone viral, and a comment from there that you find funny, entertaining, whatever it may be. Please go do that.
That'd be great. Time for questions of the week.
Headphone users, all right.
Let's go.
All right, question number 1. What
are each of your favorite holidays / traditions to celebrate, and why?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying, tied for first place, my 2 favorite traditional holidays that I've always grown up celebrating are Thanksgiving and July 4th.
And something that Hallie definitely loves more than anything is probably Garba.
Oh,
it's a pretty good tradition out there.
That is my favorite Indian tradition.
My favorite holiday / tradition, I would say when I was growing up, I hated Gerba because I would have to stay up late. I would have to watch people dance, a dance I could not dance.
Yeah, because you wouldn't partake. That's why.
And so I would stay outside and play football or basketball with the boys, and I would just not do the Garba.
Do you know how bad I wish you did the Garba? Because the Garba.
It's just Garba.
I wish that you did the Garba. Also not Gerba. It's Garba. Garba. Yeah, I've gotten hate for that too. So there you go.
Okay.
But I wish that you knew how to do it because that would have helped me so much. I had to learn it, and that's another thing. People hate that I teach it to you. I teach it to you. I wish you're starting to pick up, but I wish you would have been a good little boy and gone and did your dances.
It's one of my favorites now. So I would say that is probably one of my favorites. And then also for me, Christmas is my favorite because it's during Hallie's birthday month. So her birthday is Christmas Eve, and then we have Christmas, and then we get the whole week off, and then we got New Year's. It's just like a whole, like, it feels like the whole month is like off pretty much because it's just good
Celebrations
things all
and
the
love.
time. Obviously 4th of July is up there as well.
Oh, 4th of July. And I'm surprised you didn't say that because you love summertime so
No,
much.
yeah, I love summertime. The only thing that sucks about Christmas is that it's cold, but it's such a joyous time. I love it.
It is. Yeah.
It's a great time. Everybody here celebrates it, and so it's just nice to celebrate with everybody. So,
Yeah. So I would say definitely those are our favorites.
and then for our last question, it's a long question, so I'm going to summarize a little bit, okay? So this person reached out to us, and they're American, and their boyfriend is Indian, okay? But the difference is they come from the same faith. Their families accepted their relationship right away, so it's a little bit different than ours.
Applause. That's
It's
amazing.
great news, okay? Their families are very open, but like saying, hugging and saying I love you to each other is very common on her side. And on his side, it's not as common. So my fiance is very loving in private, filling up my physical touch, love language, and telling me he loves me often, but never does PDA. I'm worried my family will wonder if he really loves me as much as I love him. I'm totally fine with no PDA around his family or in India, but would really appreciate it around my family and friends. And especially at our first wedding in the States, okay? So there's a little bit of discrepancy there, but also the last thing I wanted to mention is his mother lives in India, and so this is an Indian guy. His mother lives in India, and she also wants to come visit, and her tourist visa will last 6 months, okay? And so she is kind of at a split decision here, saying, hey, I feel like it would be difficult as I would want to show good hospitality, but entertaining a guest for 6 months would be difficult. My fiance has stood up to his mother on multiple occasions, so the fact that he hesitates to do so in this situation tells me it would be very offensive, and he hates to disappoint his mother, who really has sacrificed everything for him. I am also a big people pleaser and hate to disappoint, but also know my limits. What would you do in these situations? Okay, so we got two.
Holy cow.
We got the situation of PDA in front of family.
Yeah, so let's talk about that one first.
And I think you need to communicate this saying, hey, I really want you to show that you love me in front of my family. I think that's fine. I do a pretty bad job because I never saw that in my family. Like PDA is not existent. It is not there. And so I typically don't show PDA in front of my family. And I think that's normal.
But like okay, I guess I would be curious to know like what kind of PDA he's not showing. Like, is he not
I'm
even
not-
sitting next to you, or like he's not like putting a hand on your shoulder? Because you do that to me.
Yeah,
like, we
I'll
sit
like put my hand around Hallie, but that's
and
like,
we
you know,
hug, we hug,
Yeah.
and we do. I mean, we do show PDA around both families.
but I'm not going to kiss anybody in front of my parents. Nope. Not going to do that. But in front of her parents, I feel a lot more comfortable doing.
And I would say, yeah, again, just communicate this to him. Make sure that he knows that it's something that's really important to you. And I get that it's a change that doesn't happen overnight, but it can be a gradual change. Like, hey, I would really appreciate, it would make me feel so loved. And I would love for our friends and family to see how much you love me. Can you please start being a little bit more PDA, doing that in front of my friends and
Yeah.
family? We can still continue on how we're continuing on in front of your side of the family. That's fine because they don't want PDA. And I get that. But in front of your friends and family, you can start gradually implementing it and maybe start, you start getting a little bit closer, giving him a hug, a little side hug, a little kiss on the head, like those kinds of things. And maybe he'll start to get the hint.
And in terms of the first wedding, and you being worried about not like showing PDA and stuff like
We
that, that can be done with a photographer. So if you get a really good photographer, which I think you should invest in, then you can get somebody who's really good at directing and asking for things like, hey, you got to kiss her on the head. You got to do this. You got to nuzzle your nose between your in the neck area, and so like all that stuff you'll get when you get a good photographer. And so
Yeah.
I think that's important. Okay, next topic: the mother-in-law coming home for 6 months. Okay, and to clarify, they are newly married, no kids. Okay, it would be very difficult to do this if you don't have somebody living with you. And I am at a crossroads here. I don't know what I would do. I don't know, because it's, let's say I'm him. It's my mom, right? I want her to be with us and experience what it's like to be in America, what it's like to fully know me and my fiance. And so like in my perspective, it's like, she's got to love this. She's going to be able to communicate with my mom and all these things. So that's what he's thinking, right? So what are you thinking in this situation?
From my perspective, I'm just envisioning if we were in the situation, like, so she hasn't met the mom?
No. I think they've met.
Okay, but like not spent a huge amount of time together. Okay.
Because they got married.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is so tough. My first question would be, because I would be overwhelmed thinking about this, honestly, because it's a lot. And coming from me, I've never experienced, I just lived with my parents, right? I've never had anybody else live with me. This is my pure white girl perspective. Mm-hmm. Do you have, or does he have any other family in the States that she could possibly hop between? All right. That's something to consider. So, I mean, yes, you're still getting to spend time with her. She's able to be here, able to spend time with her son. I don't know if there's any other family, like aunts, uncles, cousins, whoever, that live in this area that maybe she doesn't have to stay with you the full 6 months, because 6 months is a long time as a newly married couple.
It is a long time, but it's also like, okay, where else is she going to go? Right.
So that would be my question to ask. Yeah. So if not, then I think, I mean, it sounds like she's going to stay with him, but in that case, there needs to be a lot of boundaries set prior to this move-in date. 6 months is a very long time. In the grand scheme of things, 6 months is not that long. So, I mean, that's a positive way to think about it.
Yep.
But I think it kind of sounds a little inevitable. This is so hard.
I think at the end of the day, you have to communicate what you are feeling to your husband, right? And so you need to be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I think we have to do this. Like, we're going to have, like, she can't go anywhere else, right? But there needs to be some boundaries. Like, we need to have our time. Like, we can't just focus on entertaining for 6 months. That's not going to happen, okay?
No.
Maybe once a week, or maybe 2 times a month, or whatever it may be like, hey, like, we'll focus on your mom. But other than that, like, it's just me and you. Like, we have to live the way we have been living.
And it's important to realize that you guys already have your own lives established, and somebody else coming into the mix is complicated. And I'm not going to lie, my first response would be like, does she have to come stay with us? Yeah. That's my first thought. But
look, in this situation, it is hard. It might seem daunting, but at the end of the day, people have their own lives, okay? That's what you always have to remember, is like, people have their own things going on. They have their own thing. And I know, like, this person would be coming in and kind of intruding on your space. But if you have your own thing going on and you two are doing your own thing, I think it's not going to be as bad as you might think it is.
Only if there are boundaries that are set.
Only if there's boundaries.
But my concern is that if he's afraid of telling his mom no,
that's a bad one.
No, how's he going to be able to set those boundaries?
Yeah, he needs to
man up and really be like, Mom, listen, I'm so happy that you're coming, but this is not something that my wife is used to, or my fiance, that she is used to. Okay, so we need to establish some clear boundaries here. I don't know how big your place is. That's another thing, because you can't just avoid somebody.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a lot of boundaries set up front. And again, I don't know if there's any family that you have.
Yeah.
And like maybe you guys can take trips by yourself over the weekend, or I don't know. I'm just trying to, it's such a tough situation. I'm trying to think of the best ways to make it most bearable for you guys.
Yeah. I hope this helps instead of make it more confusing, but this is a tough question. I'm not going to lie. This is a tough question because being in the Indian culture, you are like required to make sure you take care of your parents, which is a good thing. I think that's a great thing. But at the same time, you know, you got your own life to live. And you didn't grow up that way. And so it's just, you got to compromise. You got to figure it out. A lot of communication. The more communication you have, the better it'll be. But yeah, that's my response to this question. Thank you for sending it in. And if you want to submit your own questions, anybody out there, www.halfpastjaw.com to submit your own questions and stories. I don't know. I think we did an all right job answering that.
And if you want to talk more about it, feel free to DM us or something, and we can talk more. Maybe if we get more detail or whatever it is, just let us know that we were already talking about your question. We can try and figure it out from there. But I'm sorry. I hope, honestly, best of luck. I hope some of what we said resonated with you. I think it's just clear to set good boundaries up front and make sure that everyone's adhering to them.
I really hope we get an update because I would love to know what happens.
Please, yes, reach out.
Yeah. Anyways, this is it, everybody. Reminder, go to www.halfpastjaw.com to make sure that you get your answers. You get your questions answered by us. And so we love you, Half Past crew. Thank you for the support. We are so excited to continue growing this community, even with all the hate comments. All right.
We still love everybody.
We have exciting things coming. Guess what? We'll see you next Monday at Half Past Jaw.
Thank you, everybody.
Woo! Ow, ow! Time for the thumbnail.
Okay.
The better half has entered the chat.